Hey everybody, we're live. Netherlands 2, Spain 2, after the Nations League quarter-final first leg. I'm Michael, Mike's here, Abdul's here. It's time to talk about the Dutch national team. So get involved in the live comments now. What did you think about the game? Lots of positives to be had there, but what a frustrating end. And if you're not watching live, drop us a comment down below on YouTube and we will get back to you and respond to you with what you thought on the game. Who wants to start then? Out of you two?
Well, if you allow me to start, I think this is the best performance for Oranje since maybe we defeated Germany 3-0 and France 2-0 in 2018 Nations League. I haven't seen Oranje playing like this against a big opponent. We played very well. I was kind of worried when I saw four players up front who have attacking mentality. Kluivert, Memphis Depay, Gakpo, and Frimpong. But it did work, actually. Four players with speed that caused so much trouble to Spain. And we definitely think that Frimpong was amazing this match. I would probably say he was man of the match, really. He caused so much trouble, created an amazing goal. He even created the second goal. Unfortunately, the red card ruined everything. Otherwise, we were doing so great. We were just not lucky. I don't want to blame Hato. He's a brilliant player, but I just think he was too nervous in this match, and we could saw that in the beginning when he made that amateur mistake. He was just not into the match. He's so young and doesn't have the experience. Other than that, everything was great. Koeman played with a great lineup, the best lineup we could have come up with, especially in the defense. I was kind of worried about Geertruida. I haven't been hearing good things about him, but he was really good. He was amazing, really. I just think we were not lucky, but all to play for in Spain.
Yeah, I think I'll say about 70 minutes of the match was great. I think you take out the first 5 minutes, then the 70 minutes after that, and then I think Spain took over again. But yeah, I thought Frimpong was outstanding. He caused some absolute no end of problems. He actually had Cucurella on a stick, and he couldn't handle him. I think Kluivert did really well. I think Gakpo did really well. I think Memphis was okay. I don't think Memphis was great. I think he did okay. The rest of the midfield, Frankie de Jong, I thought was fantastic until he went off. I thought he was absolutely great with his runs. And I thought Van Hecke had a strong game as well at the back. I think that if you're going to praise any of the defenders, I think he was the one that came out on top. I think you could say stuff about Hato. You could say stuff about Geertruida, his marking of Williams, and you could say stuff about Van Dijk for the equaliser. But I don't think you can criticise Van Hecke. I thought he was excellent. The only thing that I would say Koeman got wrong was the substitutions. I thought that they killed and everyone's going forward, bringing on Simmons and Miners and taking off Kluivert and de Jong. I think that he could have brought on Brobbey at that point, and then they would have had a bit more of a hold-up play up front. So I think he got the substitutions wrong, whereas I think Spain got their spot on. I think as soon as they made those changes, they were a much better side, and that proved it. The only thing I would say is I think it was very interesting if Kluivert had reacted like when Dean Huijsen went on his ankle. I think if Kluivert had rolled about on the ground and screamed for a bit, then that might have been a red card as well. And I think that Spain got it because of the reaction that they made to his challenge, because I don't actually think it was that bad.
Yes, definitely. I was writing that actually, about the red card, but thank you for saying it, Mike. Yes.
I thought it was a great performance. Really like Frimpong, man of the match. Me, we might talk about who it is later, but I think it's easy for me. The speed he has, but also like the acceleration, just to get away from people. And he's putting the ball into space where I'm thinking it will be like a 50-50 duel, and he's just sprinting away from them. Yeah, brilliant. And his crosses and balls in weren't predictable really as well. Like he did try and find that cut back quite a lot, but it was always getting right to the man, and it led to a goal and lots more treble sides. Yeah, brilliant. And I agree with you, Mike. Van Hecke, really good defense. Lots of times where his header, his clearance was important. yeah, great. And the rest of the cards, the reaction really didn't help. I think, yeah, it was at least yellow. Probably was a red, really. And yeah, I just think at the end it was just bad luck. Like the goal that Verbruggen, it wasn't the best save. Like he pushed it out straight to the striker, and sorry, not striker, but he pushed it straight to the player, and it just tap it in, and that's football. That was frustrating. But I think had the Netherlands won that 2-1, he saved it. We wouldn't have been complaining at all with Spain deserving a draw or whatever. I think we deserve to win that 2-1 tonight, and yeah, that's just how it is. I look forward to getting some of his live comments in. But if we just kind of rewind to the start of the game and we saw the lineup come out, obviously a number of players were missing this evening. So that's another big credit due there for the likes of Koeman, but also the players having to adjust and putting together this really good performance. I mean, after the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, is that fair to say? Like, quite a shaky start, but after that, really got into the game. Had a great first half. Most of the second half was very good. Yeah, talk about what you thought of the lineup, guys.
I think that Koeman, with Timber dropping out, I think Timber would have started if he wasn't ill. I think him dropping out basically made it pretty set that it was going to be Hato on the left, Huijsen on the right. If Timber was fit, I wonder if it would have been Timber on the left against Yamal, or it would have been still Hato and then Timber on the right. I think that would have been interesting to see what he would have done there. But I think in terms of the players he had available, I think he picked the right 11. I think the biggest surprise that I saw pre-match was the fact that Kluivert was the 10 and Xavi Simons was benched. But I think that got proved right in the game. I think Kluivert was really good. And I think Frimpong has now nailed down that right winger position going forward. I can't see a world where Koeman doesn't start him from now on in this formation. That's cemented for me that he's got to play on the right, just like Gakpo's got to play on the left. It's only up front is the one who plays there from now on.
Yes, I also have to mention that Frankie and Reinders together, it worked very well for Oranje. They completely dominated the midfield. I think it's really the perfect lineup. Of course, with I'm talking about the possibilities we had. It's really the perfect lineup. I think Koeman did a great job. I might disagree with Mike for substituting Frankie, bringing Koop Miners. He needed to defend a little because Spain were attacking. 3 players were substituted to attack. So maybe he wanted to balance the team. But I agree, or I don't know if you mentioned that, if he brought Brobbey or Lang, at least before the red card, of course, to use the spaces in the back, because Spain were attacking. I think Lang or Brobbey, bringing Lang or Brobbey could have been or could have worked really well. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Other than that, everything Koeman did was really great in this match.
Do you think he got the tactics right as well, and the way that the team set up to play? Like, do you think their intention was to use Frimpong a lot down that wing? Well,
Frimpong gave him all the reasons to be a starter from now on. There is no reason for Koeman to bench him again, really. He tried Simons many times, and before that he tried Bergwijn, of course, in the old days. But now we know what was missing. We needed more speed up front, and we found it in Frimpong. So definitely he must be a starter. Kluivert and Simons, I'm still not sure really, but I would go for Kluivert for now as number 10.
Yeah, I think the fact that you've got 2 wingers now that will take people on just makes the Netherlands a totally different outfit. I think the fact that Frimpong is full of running, can take the defender, breeze past them, and then Gakpo can do it on the left. I think that either side you go to, if you attack down the left and attack down the right, you've always got a chance of beating your man, and then it's just a case of what's the end product. With Gakpo, usually it's a cut in and shoot, whereas Frimpong does like to play that ball across the box that worked in terms of the second goal.
Yeah, it was really fresh, really nice technical play, very Dutch way of playing to the lines, and it's really exciting. Good stuff. And as the game went on, obviously we scored the goal early second half. Beautiful finish, nice setup from Frimpong. And it was looking kind of good from there. They ended up making more chances. And then sadly, I think Mike's right with the substitutions. I think had we made one or two a little early, maybe the hour mark, and then kind of spread them out from there to kill the game a little. Like, it's not Koeman's fault about subs why the red card happened or like the second goal happened necessarily, but had you brought Robbie on earlier for Memphis, you could see Memphis wasn't having the best game, but equally not a bad game. I look forward to seeing what the comments thought about Memphis, by the way, with how controversial his selection was. But bring Robbie a little earlier, he can cause trouble, hold the ball up when we're winning, playing the counter-attack. We could have seen even Cope Miners a little earlier. I think Kenneth Taylor here wouldn't have been a bad pick either. Like, he wasn't the bench, right? I'm not making a mistake here. But he would have been another one maybe just to see as well. And then the end of the game, like, what did you make of that last 10 minutes? Do you think you have to sit back at that point and try and just hold on?
Well, you are playing against Spain. It's one of the best teams in the world. Arguably, it's the best team in the world. And you are missing one player. You're playing with 10 players. So, yeah, I think what we did was right, trying to defend. With 8 minutes left, I think the red card was in the 82nd minute. So with 8 minutes left, we had to defend. There was no other way to do it, And we almost did it, by the way. That goal just came from nowhere, really.
Yeah. I think the only disappointing thing is that on the counter, because after the red card, we're playing so deep, and Spain were basically pushing us right back. I just wish that if you did have sort of like a Lang on there or somebody with a bit of pace, they might have gotten behind on one of those counters. But yeah, it wasn't to be. The goal was a bit of a sucker punch. They defended well until that moment. But yeah, it's just one of these things that Verbruggen could have done a bit better. Van Dijk kind of, the man right behind him, he could have had his hands on his hips as he was watching it come out. Could Frimpong have done a bit better up against Williams? But Williams is an excellent player, so you can't really blame Frimpong for that. Yeah, it's just one of these things. Down to 10 men, Spain are the best international team in the world. They're gonna hurt you with that. And sadly, it was Williams that stayed on the pitch instead of Yamal, because I think apart from robbing the ball if I had to, I didn't think he did anything in the whole game.
Right, well, that's kind of our first thoughts on the game. I think let's get people's comments in that are watching live on YouTube, and we can respond from there if you like. A lot came in about individual players again. Can't see too many about Koeman, just having a little flick through here. People seem to be less concerned by him this evening. I'll go back to the beginning. There were some early comments before we came on saying about Harto looked out his depth the whole game. Was at fault for the first goal, not good enough. Dave thought it's the best we'd looked in years. No, it's a straight red though, in his opinion. And the great performance by the team. It was dicey for the last 20 minutes, but they took control. Nicholas says that Frimpong was man of the match. Yeah, Cucurella was seeing Frimpong in his sleep. Yeah. Let's get some different people in. I'll blame Koeman for digging in around the 75th minute mark. We were already inviting pressure before the red card was stupid. Oh, before the red card was... Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like Abdul said, I think you have to at that point. Have to sit in, and that's okay. Like, it's only the first half of the game. We see it through the 10 men, and then we're 2-1 up in the second leg. But, yeah.
I don't think we over defended until the red card, really.
Yeah, I think that Spain were definitely getting on top. I think, as I said, like the free substitutions for them, Dani Olmo especially, was picking up little bits of space that they didn't have before. I think Morata as well. I think he was totally dominated by our centre backs. I don't think he really did anything. But when he brought on, Perez, Olmo, and Alrifaee, I think they had a bit more movement and caused a bit more trouble for us. So yeah, I think the Spain substitution did turn the game for them to be a bit more dominant going forward.
Mm-hmm. And let's bring some more comments. Agent X was saying that Lamine Yamal on the best winger period, Frimpong come with beer. Nicholas thought it was Gertrude's best performance wearing orange. Some different people. I think this is a comment of who enjoyed seeing this evening. Agree with all those names there. It's about Cloudvert. Like, out of 10, what would you give Cloudvert's performance tonight? I thought it was all right, but I don't think he really stood out in any way. But maybe I'm being harsh.
Kluivert, you mean?
Yeah.
I would give him a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd agree, a 7. A 7. We did get the assist for Gakpo's goal. Way awesome. I think he had some nice touches in there. Some nice movement. But yeah, I don't think he was man of the match. Frimpong's performance is more like a 9 or upwards. That's what that is. I think Justin Kluivert, he's probably about 5th or 6th best player on the pitch, maybe for Netherlands. But yeah, I think he was decent.
Don't support too many of your player ratings to do, Mike. That's going up on the website later on.
Yeah.
Lewis said that who's going to be left back for the next game.
I definitely Timber.
Who's coming back though? Because is Timber fit for the next one?
Well, they said he's kind of sick, but I hope he will get well in the next 2 or 3 days. So he should be ready. If not, then we will have a problem in that position. I don't know who can play there, really.
I don't know if Child is really going to play there for a whole game. It's okay for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in saying that Van Hecke has played left back in his career?
That doesn't feel familiar, but I won't be surprised.
I wouldn't want to see it, but
no.
It's an option, or you end up putting a Delict out there or something like that. But I don't really know what a plan's going to be if Timber's not available.
Are we going to get any players back in time for the next game?
Just Timber. I don't recall any other players. Do you?
Yeah, Ravenberch is out, so he's gone home. So unless they can call up somebody, maybe from now. Oh, Yuri Bass plays left back. Does he not?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's there.
Maybe that's the one.
If you want to throw him in against Yamal in Spain, I'm sure that'll go well.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm sure that's going to go really, really well.
And he's been out of form for Ajax as well. He's had a very good breakthrough season for Ajax, but yeah, that is quite a tough way to come into your international debut.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting because he probably does have time now if he wants to call somebody in who would turn up. If there's somebody in under 21s, Matson maybe, if he could just call him in. But I doubt it. I doubt he's going to do that. I think he'll just go with the players he's got now, and maybe it will be Yuri Bass to start.
But I think Timber will be back, so it will be Timber. Geertruida, I think he's going to play again. He did great, really. And again, in the central defense is going to be Van Dijk and Van Hecke.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if this, apart from Hato, it's the same starting 11 on Sunday, just with Hato's replacement in there.
Well, it's about Memphis. Since we're gonna start with the same lineup on Sunday. I'm not sure.
Do you think so?
Sorry?
Do you think so?
Well, I cannot find any reason for Koeman to make changes. The team did great, really. Why would you make any changes for a team like this? The only thing I think Memphis. Okay, he was good, but he was kind of heavy. If you notice that, and I think Broby could have done much better. Memphis.
Well, see, that's why I would change. I would change that up top.
That will be the only change I would want to see, really. Other than that, everything was perfect. The midfield was perfect. I hope we start again with Reinders and Frankie.
Yeah, and one of the criticisms I've seen of Memphis in Brazil is that when he's getting in shooting positions, he doesn't take it, or his shots are very weak. And we've always said that about Memphis. At points, he's got such a strong foot, but his shots are weak. I think tonight when he had that chance, straight at the goalkeeper. If he put it either side, it was a goal, and he just hit it straight down the middle. If he was more in form, if he was Memphis of maybe 5 years ago, then maybe he would have scored that. But he did look a bit heavy. He looked a bit leggy, and I think that when it got to the hour mark, he looked done, and that's why I thought he's going to come off the pitch. But it was only after the red card that came and took him off, which I think was the big mistake that Koeman made was not taking Memphis off and giving Netherlands an outlet up front, somebody to hold up the ball, which probably would have done.
Yes.
Okay. Some more thoughts that maybe Marlon should have come on, but the red card must change his plan. Marlon would have been good, some extra pace up top on the counter attack. Like, he's another option for the striker, but more likely to be Brobbey. I think Koeman sees that he's only got 2 strikers in his squad, and then Memphis and Brobbey, to be fair.
Yes.
And Frimpong was electric. More praise for him.
Oh yes, definitely.
This was a tough one. I don't know if I agree with this. Should never play again, at least for the national team. Made 2 big mistakes. Yeah, it wasn't a good night tonight, but there are several other national team players that have done the same. Have come back and played really well. Omega should have been in this squad. Maybe. I just doesn't know quite how good he is yet. Like, if he does well with the younger teams, then maybe he can come into the squad.
Well, if I may, we don't really need a striker to score goals. Okay, a winger scored and the midfielder scored. If you play as a team, then anyone can score. So it's not really we need a striker,
This guy agrees with you, Abdul. So Koeman got his subs wrong again. Should bring Brobbey on. Big assets, holds up the ball, especially when the team is defending. When a tight team is defending. Any of us? Oh, I did quite like this one. What am I smoking? Bringing on Kenneth Taylor. More praise to Frimpong. He's incredible.
Oh yes, man of the match.
Memphis fitness is clearly better than the Euros.
Agree. Yeah.
Any of the different people? There's lots of comments from the same people giving praise to, like Frankie, Frimpong, and I think people giving scores out of 10. This was for Claver earlier. 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Positive. And there was a comment about Bass. Don't know if Mike saw that or if he thought of it first, but someone did bring up the Bass can play left back.
No, please, no.
Even the cat's disgusted by that comment. He's leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, your cat's gone up. Oh no.
Yeah.
Don't anyone notice that the cat was there. I have to rewind to see that the cat was at a whole podcast. How about this one? I remember before Henna moved to left back by Koeman, it was a good decision.
Oh, yes.
Kout to right back under Van Gaal. Maybe Koeman should come up with something surprising.
Well, I did see somebody advocate for Koopmeiners to be played at left back.
Yeah, I actually think that could work.
Yeah,
I was thinking of that name, seriously.
Yeah. So maybe that's something interesting. At least he would be able to pass the ball from the left. But yeah, depend if you'd have the defensive engine for it. But I think it'd be an option, definitely.
You'll have to see who's fit in that. Yeah. So there's a question of who do you go with after Bass, or do you start messing with the people? I'm not sure for a quarterfinal you do that. You just put a defender in there, don't you? How about this then, guys? Just the next sort of topic of our conversation. How about this then? Yeah. So how do you think we'll get on against Spain in Spain? Second leg.
Well, we conceded a very early goal today, and some people expected us to have a very bad defeat after that goal, But we got it together, and we started to attack. We almost won the match. So we can just play our game, regardless if you play home or away. If we play our game, obviously we proved that we really have a very good team. If you notice, I have never criticized our players. I've always believed that Oranje have very good players. It's just how we shape the team, how the lineup is going to be. That was the problem. If we play with the right lineup, I think we can get a good result in Spain.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I think Spain are going to have a lot more of the ball. They'll be on the front foot. Now, it'll depend on the counter-attack, and it'll depend on getting Frimpong and Gakpo as much of the ball as possible on the counter. Frimpong showed tonight that he can take on that Spanish defence and beat them. So if he can do it again in Spain, then we've got a chance. But it's going to be tough. I can't imagine that Yamal will have as poor a game as that again. But yeah, we'll see.
If I put you on the spot now for your what you think will happen against Spain, are you yay or nay? Do you think we'll go through? I mean, feel free in the comments. You want to join in? Give us a prediction for the game. What do you think will happen on Sunday, Mike? What do you think?
I think this was our chance. I think they needed to go into it with a win. And yeah, I don't see them winning in Spain. So yeah, I think it's going to be, a 3-1 defeat.
I expect another draw actually, and then we will go to extra time. Then who knows what will happen? But I expect a draw as well.
Yeah, you say about the 2 draws. So you're kind of right from your prediction, Abdul. I said it'd be. I think did I say a draw for the first leg? I think I might have done. But yeah, you were like very quick on the 2 draws in these games, and maybe it goes to like extra time penalties. Could be right. This could be a close one, tight one, and Netherlands play well again. And yeah, you never know. I don't think we're going to turn up there and beat them 2-0, and it's nice, comfortable evening. And to be fair, I'm kind of leaning towards what Mike's thinking with the defeat. And even though we're quite solid, Spain are just very, 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 very good. Abdul, you got some stick in the preview show for saying how good Spain are now. You said with such confidence that they were you thought were better than the Spain team that won those accolades back in 2010 or what have you. Do you want to take that back, Abdul, or do you still agree with that?
I was just making a comparison. When I see how they won the 2010 World Cup 1-0 every match, they lost first time against Switzerland. And when I see how they won the Euros, okay, this one is the Euros and that one was the World Cup, but still the Euros is a very strong competition. I saw the team destroying every opponent. That's why I thought this Spain is stronger than that Spain, than the old Spain. It's just we have a good team. We just need to believe that we have a good team. All the players play in the highest level. We just needed a good lineup, and we had it tonight, and we had it today, and we saw how we played. So that's why actually I expect us to score in Spain, okay, and I expect us to give them a hard time. So I hope I will be right.
But I guess tonight's another instance of Koeman failing to beat a big team.
Yeah.
And you could say that this was, he played really, really well, but then again, he's not got that, off his back. He's not got that result that gets the critics off his back. He's still not done it against a big nation. And then who knows, it could be in Spain that he does it and then you get a win that we don't expect. But tonight really feels like Spain didn't turn up, and this was a big chance, and we just fell short at the end.
Yeah, I mean, both. Okay, the only things that changed the match were the mistake Hatu did and the red card, and that wasn't Koeman's fault, definitely. So I totally support him for what he did today. He was great, really. His lineup was perfect. His substitutions were okay, but as we mentioned, we were hoping to see Broby or Lang. That did not happen. I just hope he comes up with the right lineup against Spain also in the next match, in the away match. That's the issue.
Yeah.
All right, a few more comments come in. Another one's come in. We deserved more, but good performance. Just need a proper striker. How about a couple here? So Nicholas agreed with Mike's score prediction. Prediction here for penalties possibly coming up. There's one that Spain will adjust for Frimpong, so maybe we'll have to change what we'll do next time. And Chris bringing up something that is worth talking about again. The easier group. So losing against Spain will lead to an easy group for the World Cup, but going through, great, you're in the semi-final, but you then get a harder World Cup group. And actually, people were quite split on this. I thought more people would have been on the camp of, no, let's win this and let's get through. But I was surprised by a number of people that actually said, I'd rather lose this so that we can get an easier qualifying group. Is it really that much more difficult? Like, it's not as if we're in a group with, France and Germany. And
Exactly. Oranje is a big football name. I mean, if we are going to fear teams like, Turkey, with all respect to Turkey, Bulgaria, then we have a problem. I mean, after all, if you want to qualify to the World Cup, you have to face some tough opponents. And the UEFA Nations League is a trophy. We need to win a trophy, and now we are only 3 steps away from winning it. So why not?
Yeah, for me, nothing's going to beat the World Cup. So the World Cup is the one that Netherlands want. It's the one that they've not got. So it's the one that they really, really want to be at. So as much as Koeman sees this as a trophy and we all want to win it, I think the be all and end all is getting to that World Cup and having the opportunity to bring the team to there. And then by that time, you might have a few extra players in there that might be giving us an extra chance of winning it. But tonight, if Netherlands got through this game, I think they would have played the winner of Croatia and France. And Croatia beat France tonight 2-0. So it's looking like it would be a Croatia semi-final. So on paper, you think, well, you take Netherlands, you take that if you're Netherlands, and then you're in the final. So it's weighing up: do you want a trophy in a final, or do you want the easiest chance to get to the World Cup? And it's worth noting that Turkey won their game easily tonight. Georgia won their game easily tonight. So that group does look very, very difficult. And I think even Spain might have some troubles in that group if we beat them and knock them out.
Interesting to hear both of your opinions, because you are both voicing people that are listening to this, and they'll be like, yeah, I agree with either one of you. I can see both where you're coming from. A question about Mats Wife. Do you agree that he's the right choice? I actually think, bringing off De Jong and Reinders was just a step too far. Did we need to do that? Maybe one of them if they're struggling with their fitness, but both did make it tricky from then on.
Well, Koeman brought Weaver after the injury of Gravenberg. Some players were missing, so he had to bring Weaver. Bringing him in the match in the last few minutes, I think it was a must. We needed just to close the defense, to help the defenders. With 10 players, I wouldn't blame Koeman for anything really, because the match was out of his hands really. Spain was attacking, and we had only 10 players, so. Yeah.
I think in an ideal situation, you would keep Frankie on the pitch, but he was ill. So you don't know how much he's recovered from that. So he might not have been totally full fitness yet. And then Koeman's thinking, if we hold on here, 2-1 lead, we're going to need Frankie at his absolute best in Spain. So you can't really blame him for taking him off, thinking, okay, he'll be okay for the second leg. Whether Weaver should be in the squad is another question. I don't think he's playing at all for Brighton, really, apart from minutes off the bench. There's probably other better options out there. But yeah, in terms of who he had on the bench to come on in a defensive midfield option, it's kind of only him he had.
Yeah, made sense. I just think it was too many changes in that area of the pitch in the end. Or maybe you do it early so there's a bit more flow into it. And a helpful little help here from John saying that there's a subreddit for a newsfeed about Alanya players, which I didn't know existed. I think we are coming to an end, I think, of this podcast, and it's another opportunity for us to show that we have got some really exciting new merch for some of you to get your hands on if you would like to support what we do at Football-Oranje. So just to sort of share again, in case anyone's missed it, we have to pay for these kind of podcasts to get this out, and we want to keep podcasts free for people that want to follow Dutch football in the English language. So to do that, we've made an exciting opportunity for you, but also an opportunity for you to be able to support what we do. And that is, we've released Football-Oranje scarves. So they're actually behind me there, over there, two over there. They're double-sided. So one side's got Football-Oranje on, the other side's got number one Dutch football fan. It's quite playful, and the scarves are high quality, real good. So the supplier is a company that makes scarves for Dutch, Belgian, and English football clubs. You can find their website, and they've got several of their scarves and their Hercules merchandise. And yeah, we've got some scarves made. I've got a batch still here available. I mean, yes, a good number have now gone, but still got some left for you to purchase. If you want to get yourself a Football-Oranje scarf, you can display it, wear it for Dutch football games. And here it is again. Do you want to see it? It's got our logo on.
Beautiful.
Really nice scarf.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of people that helped me kind of develop this idea, as well as Abdul Mike, just kind of fans, if you like, of what they design they wanted, and all that, and kind of made this what it is for lots of people's opinions. We could have gone for several types of merch. We're going for a scarf. And just to share, like, the link for that is on the YouTube description now. So you're watching this on YouTube, just in there. You can click it, take you straight there. We deliver to any country in the world. Anything else that I've missed there? But we're going to ask questions, of course. It's a live stream right now, so if you want to ask anything about it, feel free. But a couple more scarves went today, I think, having seen them in our preview show. So, yeah, they'll, of course, get sent out really, really soon. So if you still want to get yourself one, they're available. And thank you, of course, if you've managed to get a scarf so far. I wonder where you're displaying it or where you're wearing it. It's sort of springtime, isn't it, in the Northern Hemisphere? So those are being purchased all around the world so far. People in the Northern Hemisphere, like, they're not going to be much use, are they, to wear outside? But definitely for your Netherlands game, you've got to have it around, bit of orange.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep the stream going for like a few more minutes anyway. If people are still catching up or whatever, I want to ask any questions about anything Dutch football related. They can. I had a couple more comments come in. One of our good old fans here that has just followed us for so many years has said that it's a good boost of confidence. Enjoyed that. Yeah, just enjoyable to watch an Netherlands game, and it meant something. And we actually played really half decent for once, even if it was a bit of a bitter end.
Yeah, and one thing we've not mentioned yet that was basically a story going into the game. Dean Huijsen coming on for Spain.
He got booed so much.
Booed every single time he touched the ball, which is rightly so. Born in Amsterdam, making his debut for Spain in Rotterdam. And yeah, I've seen that he's given an interview after the game to say that he's delighted to make his debut for his country and stuff like this. So yeah, I think that given that he's apparently made comments in the past that he really wanted to play for Netherlands, I think anytime that he comes to Netherlands to play, he's going to get a good booing, and rightly so. But I think after tonight, we just need to forget about him. He's not going to play for the Netherlands. He's not going to be there. So it's time for the others to step up. There's plenty of other young centre backs that we're producing. So good luck to him. But I hope he never wins anything. And yeah, that's really
well, he deserved a red card, really. He should have been sent off with that tackle, against Kluivert.
On his teammate as well. On his teammate who's helping him trying to get for Europe with Bournemouth, and he nearly snapped his ankle.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he gets a red card next match then.
Yeah.
I had another comment from Salim saying that he should take Memphis off after an hour or so. He was tired and able to hold possession. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's very obvious for everyone to see, but this is Koeman we talk about, and Koeman makes strange decisions, and I think everyone could see that Memphis wasn't really troubling the back two. He wasn't really running, but he decided to bring on Koopmeiners and Simmons for some reason instead of bringing on Brobbey or even Malen or Lang.
Yeah. Yes. If Spain, sorry to say this, but most likely Spain will try to attack next match since they are playing home. Maybe it will be a good idea to play with Brobbey, really, and bring Lang maybe later on in the match. They can use the spaces. They can be very dangerous. So hopefully that will be the case.
And someone's actually just disagreed with you, Abdul. Well, and me, because I also want to do this, like, to swap Memphis with Brobbey. I think Memphis had a good game, worked hard to win the ball back. Brobbey not as good.
Nobody said Memphis wasn't good today. He was really good, but we felt like he was tired. He was getting tired little by little. By then, maybe it was better to substitute him, For next match, I don't think Koeman will start with the Brobbey. We all know how much Koeman is attached to Memphis. He will start with Memphis, but I just hope he brings Brobbey later on in the match. He will be useful, really.
I actually think that... Go on.
Do you not
you go first.
Yeah. Do you not think that Memphis has lost a bit of pace? Do you not think that there was not a point in the game where he looked like he could beat a man? There was not one single point where he took on a defender or looked like he could race past the defender. It was always just using his strength back to goal or maybe turning. But yeah, he seems to have lost that little bit of edge that would, even if he was played a through ball, is he going to be able to get onto it without somebody getting back and tackling him? I don't think so if you're going to have speedy Spanish attackers. Whereas, Robbie can really just brush people off and power through. I think that's more of a weapon for Netherlands if they're going to have so little time going forward.
Yes.
I was thinking if you started with Robbie and played him for an hour and then bring Memphis on and it's a really tight game, there's extra time, but he's only get an hour too. And then his experience might be useful later on in the game.
It could be better with Frimpong, Broby, Gakpo. They will be so dangerous, I think. Yes, I think it's better to bring Memphis maybe in the second half, to use his experience to maybe, I don't know, not sure really, but I would prefer to see Broby.
Yeah, I think that one thing I want to say about Frimpong is that when we talk about Dean Huijsen and how the fact that Netherlands lost him, I love the fact that Frimpong could have played for several other nations, including England, and he was so determined to play for Netherlands. And he wasn't given a chance until tonight was his big, big chance. And look how he took it. He was absolutely excellent. He's played a match. And he's going to be a starter going forward. And that's what we want to see. People that are passionate for the Netherlands. He is. Even though he doesn't speak Dutch, he's criticised a lot for not being able to speak Dutch. But yeah, for tonight, if you wanted to pick out one player to be man of the match, star of the game, it was by far Jeremy Frimpong.
Yeah. Mike, his heart is Dutch. That's what matters. The way he was fighting for the ball shows everything, really.
Yeah.
Is that the same for us three, given that we're not Dutch? And anyone else watching, that's not Dutch.
I was going to say that about ourselves too. My heart is orange, although I don't speak Dutch.
Question about Van Hekke now being the starting centre-back with Van Dijk.
He deserves to be a starter, really. I know there are some injured players. Nathan Ake is injured. Botman, he's a world-class defender, but he's always injured, unfortunately. Van de Ven, but I think Van Hekke is doing great. There is no reason to change him with another defender. He should be a starter with Van Dijk, really, for the next matches.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Okay. Anything else you want to bring up, guys, before we go?
No, if you want to see how good Emmanuel Omega is, under 21s are playing tomorrow. They're playing against Italy in a friendly. So if you want to check out that, obviously we'll let you know how the game goes on our website and Twitter page. We'll keep up to grips with that. But, under 21s, very exciting side. Heading to Euros this summer as well. So there's that to look forward to tomorrow. And yeah, roll on Sunday. At least we're still in it. A lot of people, including myself, thought we were going to lose this game. So we're actually going into Sunday's game with a chance. And yeah, hopefully we take it.
A big match coming up, and we have all the weapons at our disposal to win. But I expect a draw, as I mentioned before, and I expect us to go to extra time. It will be very tough, of course, for both of the teams. I just hope Koeman doesn't change many players. Frimpong must be a starter because Koeman did this in the Euros. He started with Frimpong against France. Next match against Austria, he was benched. So I just hope he continues playing with the Frimpong as a starter.
Yeah. Another exciting match on Sunday then. And of course, we'll be back for that live stream after the game on Sunday. Be there. We'll be live and you can join us then. But as for what you can do in the meantime, I mean, you could go onto Football-Oranje's website and the player ratings, I'm guessing, might be up pretty soon.
Yeah, I've got to write them. I'm guessing they're going to be mostly positive, I guess, for most of the players. Maybe one sadly might get a small mark down because of his error and his red card. But yeah, I think other than that, mostly positive tonight.
Yeah, fair enough. And thank you everyone for watching live or watching the whole thing afterwards, then when it wasn't live. Thank you for commenting as well live. And if you haven't commented, just drop us one down below. What you thought on the game? Anything you want to ask us, go for it. Love having a discussion with you all in the comments and the preview shows and after the post match. Do sit down and read everything that you put and try and get back to you all. So share your thoughts. And finally, just one more shout out. Let's go and get yourself a scarf. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
See you, everyone. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.